Hi guys, so I am back with another video, and this video is going to be my March wrap-up. So I had a pretty shitty reading month this month. I kind of had a reading slump, and I kind of just didn't want to pick up my books that frequently, so I didn't really read a lot. But I will show you what I did read anyway. Okay, so I read 3 books. The first book though was a continuation book because I actually started it in February, but I kind of wasn't really in the mood to read it, so I put it down and then I picked it back up in March and finished it in March. And that book was The Hunchback Assignments by Slade, which is this one here. And this book is actually a really great book. Even though it is like I guess a middle grade book, I really did enjoy this. And even though it did take me a while to read it, it wasn't because it was bad, it was just because I just wasn't in the mood for that sort of book. And I really like this book because it is based in, where are we, I want to say the 1940s, I think, or it could be, oh no, sorry, earlier than that. It's based in the 1860s. I was way off. Based in the 1860s in Britain, and it is about Modo, which is this guy here, and he is the Hunchback, and he is bought by Mr. Socrate, or I think that's how you pronounce his name, and he raised Modo from a 1-year-old onwards, and Modo is physically deformed, his face and everything, and Mr. Socrate trained Modo to be a teenage spy, and then his position within this organization that he lives and works in is that he is to try and help bring down the Clockwork Guild and protect Britannia from being destroyed by the evil guys, I guess. And this is a steampunk styled book, and I did really enjoy it because it's not the sort of book that I normally read, and it wasn't something that I guess in this sort of genre that I ever have read, and I really enjoyed it. I have to say I loved it. I loved it so much, I really did, and I gave this book 4 stars. I gave it 4 stars, and the reason why I gave it 4 stars was because there are a few points in the book that are a little bit slow, but other than that, I think it's a really good book, and I enjoyed it, and I definitely think that it's well worth the read. So that's that one. Then moving on to the books that I actually did fully start and finish in March, and that would be Drink Slay Love by Sarah Beth Durst, which is this one here, and I loved this book so much. It was an amazing book. This book is about vampires, but it's not your typical vampire book because it's not some sort of, you know, sappy love story or anything like that. It is about a 16-year-old girl vampire named Pearl, and one night when she is hunting or feeding, she gets stabbed in the heart by a unicorn, and that's like literally in the first couple of pages this happens, and so you are drawn into this book from the beginning, like right from the beginning. I love this book, I couldn't put it down, and I just really enjoyed it. I don't want to go too much into it yet because I'm going to be doing reviews on all the books that I have read, but this is well worth the read. I really did love it, and I enjoyed reading this so much, and I gave this one 5 stars out of 5. And then the next book I read for March was Switched by Amanda Hocking, which is this one here, and I actually really enjoyed this book as well. I wasn't sure what to expect when I read this because I've heard both good and bad things about this book, but I did really like it. It was about a young girl, Wendy Everly, and she has always felt different in her family. When she was 6 years old, her mother tried to kill her, so she now lives with her brother and her aunt because her mother now is locked away in I guess a mental institution. And then one day a boy kind of shows up on her doorstep and tells her that she is a troll, and not the kind of scary trolls that you think about under bridges and stuff like that, but I guess they're like a society of people, and she has powers of persuasion, and she can persuade people to do what she wants them to do and things like that. And I really, really, really loved this book. Like, I read this book so quick, and for me this is like a super quick read, so it wasn't something that took me very long to read. And I have to say that I was thoroughly sucked into this book. I really was, and I definitely can't wait to read the other books in the series. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. 4 stars because there is a little bit at the beginning where it was a little bit slow, and I kind of didn't get exactly what was going on from the beginning until a little bit further into the book, and it was a little bit confusing. But other than that, I think it wasn't really a problem. It's just you needed to read more of the book to understand what was going on. But I really love this book. Great book. And then for the other 2 books I have, these will be continuations from March to April because I did not finish them this month. I've only gotten through halfway through both of these books. And the first one was The Heiresses by Allison Rushby, which is this one here. And I got up to page 168. And this book is... I'm trying to think of what I would call it for myself. It's kind of one of those books that you really, really, really have to be in the mood for. I love the story of this book. It is a great, great storyline about 3 girls, 17-year-old girls who live with different families, and they turn out to be triplets. They had no idea that they were, and it's set in 1926 in London. And so they are now have been brought together by their Aunt Hestia and have been told that they are triplets, and that their mother's fortune is being taken by their half-brother who has a different mother but same father, and they need to fight to get their money back because they're the rightful heirs. And then there's their backstories of the triplets and stuff in there. And it is a really good book. I do really enjoy this book, but I think when I picked it up, I just really was not in the mood for this. And I will say that in the beginning of the book, it was very slow to get started. And I think that's probably what set me off on a bad track for this book, because it was slow and I wasn't in the mood to read it, but I picked it up anyway. And so I don't want to ruin this book for myself because I do like the story of this book. I just wasn't in the mood to, I guess, continue reading it at that particular time, so I put it off and started another one because I just didn't want to ruin this book for myself, because I know that it is a great book. So I am going to continue this. And then the next book I have is The Hunt by Andrew Fukuda, and this is going to be a continuation as well. I'm currently on page 167. And the reason why this is a continuation is because I just didn't get the time to finish it in March. No other reason than that. I am loving this book so far. It's a great book for what I've read at the moment. There are things in there that confuse me a little bit with the way that it's written and kind of the backstory to the main character, Jean, in this book, but other than that, I really do enjoy it. And I just ran out of time because I've just had a crazy last 2 weeks of the month at work and with family issues, so I kind of just didn't get the chance to finish reading it. So I'm going to continue reading this. And that is all the books that I read and will continue on for the month of March. I hope you guys like my wrap up, and I will see you in a minute with my April TBR. So I'll see you guys soon. Please don't forget to comment, rate and subscribe. Bye!